Greetings, I'm Desi Hall, Director of Student Activities. Today I'm joined by LaShondra Little. She's the manager for the voter registration outreach for Fulton County Department of Registration and Elections. Good afternoon there, Miss Little.
Good afternoon. Happy to be here with you.
Yes, so delighted to have you. On September 20th, just in case you didn't know, those who are watching, is National Voter Registration Day. We invited Miss Little to share information about voter registration and updates about the My Voter page. So, Miss Little, could you please share with us?
Yes, I am happy to share with you all. We're going to go over voter registration options and just really make sure you're updated on the current election that is going to be happening on November 8th. So let's share my screen. So again, LaShondra Little, and I serve as the Voter Education and Outreach Manager for the Department of Registration and Elections. And what we are tasked to do in a nonpartisan manner is to really educate all residents of Fulton County from north to south, just to make sure everyone is updated on the voting process and has an understanding of voting and why they should vote. And so let's talk about that. We vote because this is a way to perform our civic duty, a way we can make a difference in our county, our state, and our country. And it's also a way that we have a legitimate say in our future. Acceptable ID for voting, so that you all are aware, is any valid state or federal government issued photo ID, including the free ID card that we issue in our office. So if you are someone who does not have any type of ID at all, we can help you and assist you by getting a free voter identification card, but you have to be registered to vote. You can use a Georgia's driver's license, even if it's expired. You can use a University System of Georgia ID. And so these are our public institutions within the state of Georgia. So Atlanta Technical College would count, as well as your Georgia State, your Georgia Tech, Morehouse, Clark, Spelman, Emory, private institutions, those would not count. A valid employee photo ID from any branch or department or agency of the U.S. government or any county or municipality. And so because I work for Fulton County, I can use my ID. Any valid U.S. passport ID, any valid military photo ID, and even tribal IDs are acceptable. Ways to vote. We have 3 ways in which you can vote. First, we will have our advanced in-person voting, which starts October 17th through November 4th. And that's going to be every day, Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And on Sunday from 11 to 5, if you want to actually physically go. For those who are not going to be able to physically go and vote, you have the option to vote absentee. You can start applying for your absentee ballot right now until October 28th. So right now to October 28th, you can apply for that ballot. Please note that even though you can be applying right now in September, the earliest day that we will begin to mail out ballots will be October 10th. And then the last way you can vote is in person on election day. Election day is November 8th, and the voting time will be from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Please remember that if you did not vote advance from October 17th through November 4th, you have to vote at your precinct on election day. This is just a picture of the voting system, so most of you all will be familiar with this, but this just shows from the iPads that they check you in on to our BMD machines, which host the systems for your ballots, and then also the scanner, which you put your ballot in once you finish. So we just want you to have that live picture. Absentee voting, we just want to make sure you understand how you can do this. You can request a mail-in ballot by calling us, faxing us, or there's a portal on our website as well as the Secretary of State's website. You can email us to request the application, and you also can mail us to request the application or mail your application to us. When you are applying for the absentee ballot, you are now required to provide a driver's license or ID for the ballot. You can only turn in your ballots at 7 drop-box locations that we will have during early voting, or you can bring them to any one of our Fulton County Elections offices. Since early voting ends on November 4th and election day is on November 8th, between November 4th and the 8th, our offices will be open a little later through the weekend to also give you more time to turn in your absentee ballots. This is a picture of what the absentee application looks like, and make sure you see the sections where you have to put in the ID. If you miss anything on these application, it will be rejected. To ensure that your ballot is counted, we have to have it by 7 p.m. on election day. And you have 3 ways to return your ballot. You can mail it to us at our office off Peachtree Street. You can return it again at one of the 7 drop box locations during early voting. And on election day, you can turn to any one of our offices in person. Well, not election day, anytime. You can return to one of our offices. So we have our downtown office. We have our office that's located in Sandy Springs off Roswell Road, and then our office located in South Fulton off of Stonewall Tail. What's on the ballot? We have our United States Senator, and then all of our state positions, our state elected officers, our governor, lieutenant governor, secretary of state, etc. For all of those state positions, as well as our local state senator and state representative, and then our congressperson. Fulton County specifically will have the Board of Commissioners chairman, and then districts 1, 3, and 5, our chief magistrate court judge, Fulton County School Board, state court judge, and our soil and water conservation district supervisor. Quickly, just to give you an update, redistricting takes place every 10 years after the census. Our Georgia General Assembly conducts a process to ensure that all of our boundaries across the state are equitable. These impact our U.S. congressional seats, our Georgia General Assembly, House and Senate seats, our county commission seats, and our city councils. For the purpose of this election, redistricting is in effect. The boundaries themselves don't take effect until January 2023. But however, again, for the purpose of this election, you will already be voting based on your new district that you may be in. So just please make sure you are aware of that. There is the link to our website that gives you a whole page on redistricting that gives maps of every seat, because there are some of you who will be voting that have new Congress folks that you will be voting for, new county commissioners, as well as new representatives as well. Resources that are available to you. I tell everyone to download the Fulton Votes apps. The Fulton Votes app has all of the latest election news, including early polling locations, sample ballots, your key dates to remember. You can actually see the election results, and it takes you to the My Voter page. It does not matter if you have an Apple or a Google phone, they are both available in the store. My Voter page is the actual database for every registered voter in the state of Georgia. This page is extremely helpful and useful to you. This is the snapshot of that page that you can get to from www.mvp.sos.ga.gov. You just need to put in the first initial of your first name, your last name, the county, and your date of birth. And then once you do that, it will pull up your precinct card. It will let you know your status. So it will say either you're registered or you're not. And if it does show that you're inactive, then you will need to follow the directions to vote online, or you can contact our office and we can help you get registered to vote. You can find your polling locations here, all the information that I covered previously as it relates to absentee, as well as candidate information for those who are running. Your important dates for this election cycle. The election itself will be on November 8th. And the voter registration deadline to be able to participate in that election is October 11th. If there is a runoff, the runoff will be on December 6th. And the deadline for that registration will be November 7th to participate. Please note that if you register to vote after October 11th, but prior to November 7th, if you are participating in the runoffs on December 6th, you will only be able to participate in the federal races only. That extra voter registration deadline is just for the federal races. Just some highlights, because we get questions all the time. Well, how did SB 202 impact us as it relates to elections? So we have 2 mobile voting units that were previously used for voting. Now we use those for educational purposes. I'm sure you see where Ms. Hall has brought us out to the campus on several occasions, and we brought the big mobile bus out there to ensure we're educating you. And so that's what we use it for. We also now can only have 1 drop box per 100,000 registered voters. We currently have about 750,000 registered voters, which allow us 7 drop boxes. There is a new ID requirement for absentee voting. Additional Saturday and Sunday has been added, and there is no interaction with voters within 150 feet in line. Lastly, we're going to talk about poll worker in case any of you all are interested in being a poll worker. You just have to be an employee or a resident of Fulton County or an adjacent county, have a willingness to serve, be at least 16 years of age, be able to read, write, and speak the English language, and have reliable transportation. Our focus right now is on election day, so I will hone in on that. On election day, poll workers are required to work from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And sometimes there are duties that may be performed either on Sunday and Monday, which relates to the setup of the precinct for election day. We do feed you lunch and provide you a shirt, but any other things that you need for that day while you're serving, we ask that you pack that the night before and have it with you. This shows our pay rates. So for election day, everyone receives $40 for training. And then if you're serving as a poll manager, your pay will be $400. Assistant managers, $300. Clerks, $275. Line monitors, you will receive $17 an hour for that day. And then our technicians, you will receive $22 an hour for the day. I'll leave the QR code up for a while, just so that if you are interested, you can scan. And then I will leave this up. If there are any questions, once you have viewed this presentation, please give us a call or email us if you have any questions or concerns. I thank you so much, and I hope that you have learned something that will help you ensure that you will be able to vote and have a plan on November 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Little. I do have a couple questions of you before you leave today. How often should one renew their registration?
So it's not really a renewal process unless you, like, if you move or you're supposed to update your information within 30 days. If you have missed out on participating in the last 3 election cycles, then you will have to renew again. And so that goes back to making sure you're checking your MVP page, because if it shows that you are inactive, then that's when you know you need to contact us and make sure you're registered again. But as long as you have participated, kept your information updated, you should be good to go as it relates to voting.
Thank you. And what would disqualify one from registering to vote?
So in order to be able to vote, the only thing that would keep you from being disqualified is if you have a felony and have not fulfilled your restitution to society. And so basically you have to work with the state parole board to make sure that once you've served your time, if you were found guilty, you work with the state parole board to make sure you can get your rights restored and get and paid all your restitution and fees. And typically those who reach out to us from saying that they were previously incarcerated, we typically will refer them to our district attorney, Fonnie Willis, or our solicitor, Keith Gamage, because they both have programs within their offices where they help those get their rights restored and get them registered to vote. But long as you are 17 and a half years of age, have never been convicted of any crimes in terms of having a felony, and also have not been found mentally incompetent by a judge, and be a U.S. citizen, you can register to vote.
Thank you very much. We certainly appreciate your time, you taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today and to share this information with our students. And we certainly, again, we admire the partnership that we have with Fulton County, and we're just so delighted again to have you today. And so, for those who are watching today, don't forget to visit the My Voter page to check your voter registration status. find out what the poll locations are for your area, as she mentioned earlier, and to utilize the resources that are available to you on that page. So again, Ms. Little, we thank you so much for your time, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.